everyone, and welcome back to another National Careers Week podcast. Today's theme is music, so we are joined by Tony Pottinger and Graham Thompson, who are both music lecturers at South Tyneside College. And today we're just going to kind of go through a little bit about your backgrounds, kind of your career pathways, any interesting facts or any interesting journeys you've had along the way, and any top tips that you have for your students. So first of all, Tony, are you all right just to kind of introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about kind of your career and what you do at the college?
Yeah, I'm Tony Pottinger. I'm the course leader for music for all the music courses that we do at the college. So that's level 2, level 3, HNC and HND. So we'll go all the way from like GCSE standard level 2 up to degree level. My career path, I did music all through school and then did A-levels at college, including music and music technology. Then went on to do a music degree at university. Then after that, I got myself involved in performances, bands as session players, and alongside doing that, I was interested in teaching as well because I enjoyed my time at the college and university so much. I thought it would be great to kind of get back into that as a career path. So I started applying for jobs and got a job teaching at the college, but I still do performances alongside that as well. So my career is kind of a teacher on one side and a music performer on the other.
Oh, brilliant. Bit of a double life.
Yeah, rock star at night in my head.
Excellent. All right, Graham, what about yourself?
Quite similar. I did obviously music at school and then did music technology A-level. Alongside that, I was doing external guitar lessons, so I got an extra qualification. It got me grade 8 guitar, which is the equivalent of an A-level, which meant when I left college, I was able to start teaching guitar straight away. So while I was at uni, I was a private guitar teacher, which basically paid for my uni courses and stuff like that. And when I got my degree, which is in jazz, I applied for a job at the college and been here ever since, 13 years later.
Oh, amazing. Sounds
like
good.
Tony, I work on a night doing gigs and stuff like that, and I'm on a local studios roster for to be a session player, so I play with different people all the time.
Oh,
I
brilliant.
think both me and Graham think it's really important that we're still involved within the industry as well as being teachers, because we can stand at the front of the classroom and tell people this and this and this, but it's more important that we're doing it ourselves as well. So then we can literally bring the experience, the industry experience into the classroom. It's not just like, I think it's going to be like this. It's like, no, I'm doing this now. And we've got the contacts to help you get there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. Are you right to just tell a little bit more then about kind of the places that you play at? Are you part of your sort of bands or anything like that? You're right to just tell a little bit about sort of your outside involved as well.
Yeah, mainly my gigs are quite local, so northeast based, but in the past I've been down to London playing gigs. Both myself and Graham have done the big local festivals, so at the Bens Park when some of the bands come up in the summer, we've both been on the big stages supporting bands there in front of 25,000 people, which is an amazing experience. And we have both recorded in Abbey Road Studios in London about 9 or 10 times, which is mega famous well, it's mega famous where the Beatles recorded all their stuff, but it's famous for so many other people now. Obviously Ed Sheeran's done all his latest stuff there, Kanye West, Amy Winehouse did our last recordings there. So it's just steeped in history when you walk through the doors. And it's something that we've brought into the college. Actually, we try every year to take with HNC and HND students at the end of the year down there, because we think it's important. Anything that we find interesting or important or inspirational, we then want to pass on to the students. Because if they're passionate about music, which they should be when they do the course, that'll just blow their minds and hopefully inspire them to continue on.
Definitely. Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was great. One of the times I went actually because Gary Barlow gave up his day because he'd block booked it. He gave up a day for where to go. And when we were in the Arctic Monkeys, we were in recording the soundtrack for the London Olympics, so we got to meet them when we were all on a dinner break.
Oh, amazing! That sounds like a good dinner break.
It was great, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Actually, got if you've met sort of any interesting people along the way, or anyone sort of interesting that you've worked with, obviously dinner with the Arctic Monkeys is pretty impressive.
You made it sound much posher than it was.
No, let's stick that. It was good. It was great. Like when Tony was saying we played the parks, obviously you get like quite high profile acts coming. So I've supported and played with 10cc, which are were a huge band. Mott the Hoople, the Fine Young Cannibals. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Leo Sayer, when he had just before he went to the Celebrity Big Brother house and had that big dance track out at the start of the 2000s. So that was obviously like great experiences playing with those guys, and not just the kind of the acts themselves, but the players they have in the bands are just world class. You know what I mean? So just to sit and chat to them about how they got the gig really is invaluable.
Yeah, I was on the same bill as I think it was when I was doing the park. It was Busted that I played with, and Lightning Seeds a couple of years ago. But also, like I've been really lucky because I did record original material with one of my bands, and we got on the bill for some of the Teenage Cancer Trust gigs at the Sage and things. And we're on the same bill as Paul Weller from the Jam and Roger Daltrey from the Who, and just being around these people again. It's all being involved in this stuff, and it's so inspirational, and hopefully some of the stuff I've learned and some of the links we've got, like I keep saying, we can pass on to the students and get them down the same kind of route.
Yeah,
something I'm doing at the minute, like I mentioned, I'm on the roster for a local studio, but two of the tracks I recorded got picked up by Craig Charles, who's got a show on Six Music and Radio 2. The first track we recorded got heavy rotation on his show on Six Music, but the second one's been on Radio 2 almost every Saturday night on his Funk and Soul show, which is, it's great. But really, it was just, I was a last minute phone call because the bass player that booked couldn't do it. So I just got a phone call because I knew the drummer, and I went up and that was it. And I've been working with them ever since. It's been great.
Oh, amazing. That sounds like insane, some of the things that you have done and being a part of. I know you mentioned that you kind of pass on your experiences and things sort of to your students, and you try and sort of take them with you when you can. Is there anything that you know either your students at the moment or maybe as alumni have been involved in or kind of progressed onto that you think's quite interesting?
There's a few. I was literally talking to Jade from Little Mix yesterday because we used to teach her vocals when she came to the college.
Oh, amazing.
So I don't need to tell anyone what she's done. I mean, I'm not taking credit for all of that. It's just nice to know that someone that came into the department's gone on to make things. But there's other stuff that people mightn't think of. So we had one girl who came in as a piano player, but really got into the music tech side that we were teaching in the studios. So she went out to university to look at music tech, and then ended up working in Media City at the BBC, doing all the sound for them and all the Radio 1 big weekends and traveling the country with the BBC and doing all the festivals and stuff. So there's lots of other things. And I know Graham knows a couple as well.
One girl we had quite a few years ago now, she was a guitarist, I believe, I remember. And then she went to Teesside to study music tech. And then from that, she's now doing a PhD in like acoustic science and all that type of stuff. So she went a totally different route, but it all started from music. So,
and there's been plenty of people that have just done the kind of what we classes. You can make a really good living from it, but the basics of just doing local gigs. So if you can play and get in part of a band, or even if you play and sing and you can be a solo artist, there's so many just gigs in South Shields, never mind the Northeast. And we've got plenty of ex-students that have gone on to form bands and are making a healthy living from performing. And then some others, then when they progress and they become more competent on the instrument, go into teaching as a side project. So guitar teaching, drum teacher, there's a lot of that going on as well. So I think a lot of people kind of blend things together. So they like to perform, but then because they enjoy music and they enjoy what instrument they're playing, they like to teach like we do and pass things on. And then any other links that come into it, if it's involving music, you tend to find that creative people just want to be involved in it in any way.
Yeah,
and there's so many options.
Absolutely.
Sorry. One set up his own recording studio as well, which just before lockdown. So and that's doing really well. So it's great recording studio and rehearsal rooms and stuff.
Oh,
that's
amazing.
Another route again. So.
Yeah, it's really good to hear actually sort of the different pathways that some students have taken, because I know, like you say, there's kind of the traditional route, I guess, into playing kind of local gigs and things, but it's really good to hear, I think, about everything else people end up getting involved in as well. And I guess it is sort of the people you meet along the way and the experiences that you have as well. The next thing I wanted just to see if you had any kind of top tips. So from your experience or the experience of your current students, any tips or any advice that you could give maybe as current students looking to progress onto music? It can be music specific or just general advice. If maybe's got maybe one or two each.
Actually, linking into what we just talked about there, into advice, I would say that bear in mind that there is so many different career routes in music. A lot of people come in on advice nights to find out about the course, and parents will have the question of like, yeah, but what can you do with music, or what can she do with music? And they just think it's like, all right, it's just a little hobby. They can't do anything with it. And like I was saying before, that's not true. There's so many different careers you can have. And if anyone's got any questions about that, send them to us and we'll tell them about it. But like I said, if even the basics of just being in the band, you can have a healthy career from it. So don't just think, well, can I do anything with music? Is that really going to be a job? Yes, it is. It's a proper professional career that you can do very well from. That's my advice stroke career advice.
I like it. No, that's really good. I think that is important. Like you say, I think a lot of people probably see it as a hobby, don't they? And you kind of think, oh, is there a kind of career at the end of it? But you've definitely mentioned just a few today. So as you mentioned, Tony, if anyone did have any questions about career or progression pathways, please do get in touch. What about yourself, Graham? Have you got any top tips or advice?
Yeah, I think a big one is being prepared and organized. So if someone's giving you like a phone call for a last minute gig or whatever, have your parts learned and things like that, because you'll get return bookings. People want to work with reliable people. And I think another thing which I've just thought about is don't try and oversell your ability. If you can't do something, don't say you can, because that's a way that people will go, oh, I'm not booking him. He had a nightmare because he's trying to do something he or she can't do. Just be honest about your own ability, because people want to hear you. They don't want to hear you pretending you can be Eddie Van Halen or whoever if you can't do it. You know what I mean? So just be honest about your ability and be prepared. And
the preparation,
be polite and flexible. That's pretty much a good thing for life anyway, isn't it?
The preparation thing is absolutely massive, because it's such a competitive industry that if someone offers you a gig as a guitarist and says he has 20 songs to learn by next weekend, and you do it, then like Graham says, you'll get more bookings. But if you don't, there's so many other people out there going for the same role and job that they'll just go, well, you're not prepared. I'll remember that you're not, and I'm going to pick him now. So it's so important to show that you're professional, show that you're ready to go.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, definitely. That sounds like good advice. And like you say, Graham, not just for music, probably everyone in general, being organised and prepared, you can't kind of go wrong. Last little bit then before we go is obviously we've got a lot of students kind of working from home at the moment, trying to keep in touch and keep going with sort of music and anything that they can kind of get involved in. Are you doing anything at the minute in terms of, performances, or can students, watch anything that you're doing or get involved at all?
Well, I know Graham's going to mention something in a bit, but I would also say that for any past performances or to see what we do at the college, there's plenty of videos out there. If anyone followed with social media, Facebook, and go on the videos, you'll see past shows that have been performed in the college, in our venue, or even externally, because we do some external shows each year. And I know there'll also be some of the studio trips and visits, and when we've had people in to do workshops with us. If you go on YouTube and type in South Tyneside College music, some of the stuff will come up there from the tours we've done. And again, like me showing people around the studios, if you want to see what gear we've got and how we run things at the college. Yeah,
that sounds brilliant. Definitely. Yeah, were you going to say something as well, Graham?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're performance-wise, obviously it's tough, but Tony and I were trying to think of something we could do that to show that you can still do it. So we've started doing like online collaborative recordings, trying to use sort of minimal equipment, because we're aware that not everyone has, like studio gear in the house. So we've been doing things with like with phones, so recording next to our phone microphones and then just putting it on our laptop, and we've got some free software to be able to kind of do some recordings. So we've been sending things to each other, and a former student actually, who's now a qualified music teacher, he's been putting the drums on for us. So we've been doing things like that to show the kids that you can still learn your part, send it to somebody, they can send it back to you, and then you've got a song. And yes, you haven't performed it with them, because you've been organised and prepared and learned something properly, you can actually still be creative and have some fun with it as well.
Brilliant. And I think we've actually got one of those recordings to sort of share later in the day today. So like Tony said, keep in touch with sort of the social media and our YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll see that sort of uploaded later on today. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for both joining. As I say, you know, if anyone has any questions, anything you would like to ask Tony or Graham, please do get in touch. We'll put all the contact details on at the end. But thank you very much for joining. And yeah, keep tuned in for the rest of today.